Like the legs of the lame that hang limp is a proverb in the mouth of a fool. So here's a picture of somebody who has no good use of their legs. Their legs do not work, and so they're useless. They can't help you get around. You still have them. You still have the legs, but they don't work. And it's the same way with a proverb in the mouth of the fool. They might say something wise, but it doesn't have the intended effect that a proverb is supposed to have. And so a few reasons why. Well, it might be because they're just being hypocritical. They might say something wise, and then you look at their life, and they don't follow their own wisdom or the wisdom from their own mouth. And so the people that hear them don't really follow, don't really take them seriously, I should say, right? Because they're not doing the thing that they're saying you should do. Also, I think about those who take Proverbs or even any verse out of context, right? One common one that I hear so often, and especially from politicians, is Matthew 7:1. Does anybody know that verse? That says, that's a little sermonette by Jesus in which he talks about judging, and he says, "Judge not, lest you be judged." And that could be a proverb, right? Judge not, lest you be judged. A lot of politicians, and not just politicians, all kinds of people, who they don't want anybody judging their bad decisions, their unrighteousness. And so they don't really read the Bible very often, but they know this verse. And they know how to use it. So they use it out of context. And so here's a proverb coming from the mouth of a fool. They're not using it because they want to encourage wisdom in others, but they're using it just as a way to deflect from their own bad judgments or their lack of integrity. Later, and by the way, one of the things that can help with this is actually reading the Bible for yourself and not just listening to what other people have to say about it, especially other people that actually hate the Bible. That's probably not a good place to get your biblical knowledge from. But if you continue to read on, here's what Jesus says in verse 5. He says, "Hypocrite, first remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." Actually, this is the passage, and Jesus has this sermon in which he teaches people how to judge righteously, how to judge correctly. Don't be a hypocrite. Take that plank, that speck out of your own eye, and then you will be able to see clearly. You'll be able to make righteous judgments as you ought. Another example, I was kind of searching Proverbs for ones that I've heard taken out of context. Here's one from Proverbs 18:21. It says this, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." And so I've heard so many people say, you have to be careful what you say. Some people say, well, if you just speak positively, right? There's this whole positivity kind of idea where if you just speak positivity into your life, then it'll come to pass. You have secular versions of that and even Christian versions of that. I heard somebody say once, you never want to say something like, "Oh, you scared me to death." Because if you say that, death and life are in the power of the tongue, you might be inviting death into your life because you said, you use the word death in a phrase. And of course, this passage that we just read, death and life from the power of the tongue, is not about those kinds of things. It's about using your words to say things that are encouraging rather than tearing down relationships or things like that.